Daniel spends his twilight years in solitude. While buying food at a truck, he suddenly freezes. The surrounding aromas and atmosphere triggered traumatic memories from his past. The people in line grow annoyed, but Daniel remains paralyzed until a group of thugs arrives to bother him. They assume Daniel is just an easy target, an incapacitated homeless man.
What I thought.
On the other side of town, in the outskirts of Washington, D.C., a rough neighborhood controlled by the Latin Kings, the most feared gang dominates every block. They run drug operations, extort residents, and spread relentless terror. For many, this neighborhood is hell, but for a 14-year-old boy named Lucas, it is his entire world. Lucas can be seen pedaling his bicycle through narrow alleys with a backpack on his shoulders containing small packages of drugs. Day in and day out, he delivers narcotics to various corners of the city. One of his customers is an Afghanistan war veteran named Daniel. The man is quiet, as if his past has completely shattered his life. He barely speaks, communicating almost exclusively through text messages on his phone. Every time Lucas visits, Daniel writes the exact same thing: get out of the gang, leave the streets, and go back to school. Yet Lucas simply ignores him, feeling far too deeply trapped in the gangster world of the Latin Kings.
Kid your age should be in school.
That's just gonna kill you.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the city, Rincon, the leader of the Latin Kings, lives in a state of high alert. He is convinced the FBI is constantly trailing him. Every unfamiliar car parks too long, and every stranger wandering near his house is viewed as a threat. But tonight is different. He is preparing a wedding party for his younger sister and wants the big day to go perfectly without a single disruption. At the same time, Lucas stops by the shop of Carlos, a fruit vendor deep in debt to the Latin Kings. Carlos's life is falling apart. His fruit shop is empty and near closure, while his wife is gravely ill. In desperate tones, Carlos begs for an extension. Moved by compassion, Lucas grants him one more week. He knows the risk is immense, for if Rincon finds out, the consequences could be fatal. In return, Carlos gives Lucas a bag of fruit to take home to his younger brother, Miguel. Shortly after, Lucas returns to the gang's hangout spot, only to be met with a sight that infuriates him. Miguel, his young brother, has arrived proudly, claiming he wants to join the Latin Kings. For Lucas, this is a nightmare. He has fought tirelessly to keep Miguel from getting dragged into this dirty world. Boiling with anger, he orders Miguel to go back to school and promises to pick him up later that afternoon.
Anyone?
If I ever see you back, can't you think?
Elsewhere, Daniel continues carrying his heavy daily burden while buying food at a truck. He suddenly freezes as the smells and ambient atmosphere trigger a traumatic flashback from his past. The people behind him grow irritated, but Daniel stays completely frozen until a group of thugs steps in to hassle him. Thinking he is merely an unhinged, helpless target, they make a grave mistake. After dragging him into a dark alleyway, Daniel swallows a tranquilizer to steady his nerves. As soon as the thugs launch their attack, his military instincts kick in. In seconds, Daniel incapacitates them one by one with lethal precision. It becomes crystal clear who Daniel truly is, a former Special Forces soldier who still possesses extraordinary skills. Meanwhile, at Rincon's house, wedding preparations grow increasingly lively. The groom's family arrives, carrying obvious discomfort and fear, as no one feels at ease in Rincon's presence. Lucas shows up with the delivery earnings, and unlike other couriers, he is treated with special favor. Rincon even gives him a suit to wear for the celebration. However, right after Rincon assigns him a critical task: deliver 2 large packages to a contact near a gas station. This is no ordinary delivery. Rincon stresses that Lucas must return before the party starts. On his way, however, Lucas discovers a scene that makes his blood boil. Miguel is being beaten up by a group of gang members as an initiation test arranged by Jester, Rincon's right-hand man. Enraged, Lucas breaks it up, claiming he operates under Rincon's direct protection and warning them that he is carrying out a vital mission. No one dares challenge him, but deep down, Lucas realizes just how far Miguel has slipped into this dangerous realm. In another part of town, Daniel is driving when he spots a lifeless body on the side of the road, surrounded by police. He pauses for a moment before driving off. Shortly after, he sees Lucas and Miguel riding a bicycle together. He tries to get their attention, perhaps to warn them of something, but Lucas speeds ahead, focused solely on getting Miguel home safely. Lucas intends to take Miguel back to school, but they stop by their house first. Lucas becomes increasingly determined to pull his brother away from this life. Inside, he hurriedly packs his things, grabbing a gun and slipping a note into place. In his haste, he accidentally drops one of the drug packages onto the floor. Just as they prepare to leave, Jester and his men barge in, furious that Lucas hasn't completed the delivery, and force both brothers to go see Ring. En route, Jester begins physically abusing Lucas.
Got it.
Suddenly, a nearby truck crash creates instant chaos. Lucas seizes the moment to flee with Miguel. They sprint through tight alleys, cut across yards, vault over fences, and crash through a fruit stand. With nowhere left to hide, Daniel suddenly appears in his car, throwing the door open and shouting for them to get in. They dive inside without hesitation. Jester and his crew give chase on motorcycles, sparking a high-speed pursuit through narrow streets. Bullets spray everywhere, and one strays, tragically hitting Miguel's beloved family dog. Daniel drives skillfully, dodging bullets and taking tight corners at high speeds. Ultimately, he crashes his car into a wall to give Lucas and Miguel a window to run. Unbeknownst to them, one of the drug packages remains left behind in the wrecked vehicle. Daniel guides them to a safe. While Miguel's injured leg is tended to, Daniel and Lucas exchange brief communications using sign language and text messages. It isn't much, but it's enough to show that Daniel still cares deeply and stands ready to protect them.
He hated the food from there, and the weather.
Meanwhile, the wedding party for Rinken's sister is underway. Jester arrives at the party to report the failed delivery and the missing drugs. Rinken flies into a rage, ordering his men to hunt down Lucas, and Miguel demanding they be brought back alive. Elsewhere, Daniel advises Lucas to pack up and leave town for a while. Lucas refuses vehemently. In a fit of anger, he smashes Daniel's phone to the floor and storms out, swearing to return home, retrieve the lost package, and finish Rinken's task.
Back off, alright? Let's go.
Shortly after Jester leaves the party, Spider arrives, a powerful rival gangster meant to receive the shipment. With a massive sum of money on the line, Spider demands immediate answers. Lucas manages to sneak back into his home with the help of a friend. He frantically searches his room, retrieves the lost package from under his bed, and urges Miguel to make a run for it. However, the friend who helped him betrays him by tipping off Jester. Minutes later, Jester arrives with his crew, captures Lucas, and drags him off to face Rinken. Meanwhile, Daniel learns that his father-in-law was brutally beaten by Jester's men as a warning for meddling in Lucas's affairs. That becomes the ultimate tipping point. Recognizing that the gang will never stop, Daniel decides to strike back. His ex-wife begs him not to go, calling it a suicide mission. But Daniel's resolve is unshakable as he heads straight for Rinken's compound. At that exact moment, Lucas and Miguel are being brought to Jester per Rinken's orders. The wedding party, once filled with music and laughter, shatters when Spider walks into the kitchen and arrogantly harasses one of the female workers. Rinken's rage boils over. In full view of everyone, he snaps and brutally executes Spider on the spot. In an instant, the celebratory mood devolves into a bloody nightmare. Simultaneously, Daniel slips through the narrow alleyways around Rinken's estate. Though heavily outnumbered, his military training allows him to take down guards one by one. He captures one of the sentries and uses him as bait to draw out the FBI agents who have been watching from afar. The ploy works. Within minutes, federal tactical teams breach Rinken's residence. A massive firefight erupts with flying bullets, shattering glass, and panicked screams echoing through the corridors as casualties mount on both sides. Amidst the chaos, tragedy strikes. Rinken's sister, still wearing her bridal attire, is struck by a stray bullet. She collapses, dying in a pool of blood on what should have been her happiest day. Rinken stands frozen, in utter shock, watching his sister die before his eyes. Daniel manages to pull Lucas and Miguel out of the crumbling, smoke-filled house through the gunfire, eventually reaching the nearby train tracks. But their respite is short. A furious Jester catches up to them and opens fire indiscriminately. Daniel takes a bullet to the leg while shielding the boys. Gathering what strength he has left, Lucas pulls Miguel along as they try to escape, but they are cornered when Jester trains his weapon directly on them. Just as all hope appears lost, Rinken emerges from the darkness. He stops Jester, then stares at Lucas with a mix of fury and deep disappointment. To him, every bond of family and trust has been betrayed. Yet despite his broken heart, Rinken makes a shocking choice. He chooses to let Lucas and Miguel go, offering them one final chance at freedom. This decision drives Jester over the edge. He berates Rinken as weak and unfit to lead. In a shocking revelation, Jester exposes a bitter truth. He isn't just a gang member, but part of Rinken's own family. Fueled by jealousy and hatred, Jester raises his gun and shoots Rinken, leaving him bleeding out on the tracks. Jester then turns his aim toward Lucas and Miguel. Before he can pull the trigger, a limping Daniel steps forward, trying to buy time by offering him a package. Jester greedily tears it open, expecting cash, only to realize it is a trick. Enraged at being fooled, Jester brutally attacks Daniel. Suddenly, a single gunshot pierces the night air. Jester staggers and collapses dead. The shooter is Lucas's friend, the one who had previously betrayed him, now returning to redeem himself. In the story's final moments, Lucas and Miguel board a departing train, leaving behind a trail of blood and bitter memories. From the window, they watch the city lights slowly fade into the dark night. As they sit together, Miguel feels something inside his pocket, a stack of cash left behind by Daniel. Far more than just money, it stands as a symbol of hope, a chance to start a new life, far away from the cycle of violence.